Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Geri Puleo, and I'm the creator of the Burnout During Organizational Change model, or BDOC. And I'm often asked, is a perfectionist more prone to burnout? Well, the answer is yes, and it is a resounding yes. The reason why perfectionists are more prone to burnout is because they strive for not excellence, not something that's, God forbid, good enough, but they strive for perfection, no errors. But the problem is there are different definitions of perfection. What is perfection to me might not be perfection to someone else. And because that perfect standard is often not clarified, perfectionists tend to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until they burn out. They're never satisfied with what they have created. They don't know how to rejoice and celebrate their good fortune, the good fruits of their labor. They don't know how to do it because all they can see is, I made a mistake there. This could have been better. Now, some of you may say, well, yeah, but we can always try to do better and we need to learn because nothing is perfect. But for a perfectionist, they cognitively know that nothing is perfect, but on an emotional level, they believe that they should be perfect. Now, perfectionists are also very prone to its cousin, which is procrastination. Now, procrastination is kind of avoiding projects that you don't want to do or putting tasks off to the last minute. For the perfectionist, if they believe that they cannot do something perfectly, then they say, that's it, forget it, I will just wait. But then their perfectionism starts nagging them, and they're at the last minute and they try to do something really, really quickly. And guess what? It's nowhere near perfect. And many times it's not even good. It doesn't even meet the minimum or even expected standards. Now, procrastination and perfectionism go hand in hand. It's kind of this double-edged sword that I'm striving for one thing, but I can never achieve it. And that makes me feel guilty, which makes me work even harder, even though I'm exhausted. And guess what? I'm still not perfect. And it goes into this loop, just going around and around and around. And the self-talk in their head is very discouraging. It's very diminishing as to their own self-worth, because if it's not perfect, then I must not be worth anything. And that can lead to burnout, because burnout is characterized by high levels of cynicism. I try to be perfect, but I can't be, so that makes me feel guilty. Exhaustion, because I keep striving and striving to make things perfect. I'm working harder and harder and longer hours, and it still isn't perfect. As well as cynicism and exhaustion. And with burnout, it is a very low level of productivity. And to a perfectionist, not performing at their optimal level is like the kiss of death for them. And it only proves that, see, they aren't perfect, or they're not good enough. Now, if you're a perfectionist, it can be very difficult to break that cycle. Learning when something is good enough is critical. But I know I am a reformed perfectionist. I remember many years ago, I was working on a marketing piece, and I was moving the left margin back and forth 1/16th of an inch. And I kept going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until finally a little thing in my head registered it and said, is it really that important? How much time are you spending on this? Is there going to be a return? And if a potential client would be upset with you because your margin is off 1/16th of an inch, would you really want to work with them? That was a wake-up call for me because I started understanding what it meant to be good enough, identify what the standards of performance are, and then strive to achieve that. You may have to stop yourself because you might want to make something just a little bit more perfect. But is there a return on that? Is the amount of effort and time and worry that you're putting into something really going to help you to, in the long run, to achieve what your goals are? To perfectionists, it normally is not the case. So can a perfectionist be more prone to burnout? Absolutely, yes. Now, that said, you don't have to be a perfectionist in order to burn out. In my ongoing research on gender differences in burnout, what I have found is that many people eschew the perfectionism. They know when something is good enough, but they're still overachievers. And they do that by taking on more tasks and projects and responsibilities than what they can really handle. And many times they're also people pleasers. If you want to learn more about overachievers and people pleasers and their relationship to burnout, I have 2 additional videos on this channel that you can check out. So, is a perfectionist prone to burnout? Yes. But you can become a reformed perfectionist by setting up boundaries and acknowledging what the expectations are and then striving to achieve them and then stopping yourself before you go way over that. Good luck.